Yeah, that was my girlfriend. That was somebody who I was exploiting, but I didn't kill her, bro.
I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear. So it's all in the mind, because that's the most secure place you can be, is in your mind. So if you can expel that thought from your mind, then everything else will just come together.
David been under suspicion for a minute now, and his latest revelation ain't helping. He just dropped a bomb about his girl's last words, and the streets won't stop buzzing. Was he really caught up in what went down, or is something even darker hiding in the shadows? Here's the truth. The music world got rocked on September 9th, 2025, when LA cops pulled up to Hollywood Toe on North Mansfield Avenue. Workers had been complaining about a nasty stench from an impounded Tesla, and what they uncovered turned into one of the wildest cases ever tied to a rising star. The whip registered to 20-year-old crooner David Anthony Burke, the same kid who had the globe vibing to Romantic Homicide and Here With Me, racking up billions of streams. But that Monday morning, his name got linked to way more sinister business than chart toppers. Tow yard workers noticed the smell, cops cracked open the Tesla's front trunk, and boom! Inside was a nightmare. A badly decomposed body, wrapped in a bag. The remains were mangled, barely weighing 71 pounds, and so far gone that identifying them looked impossible. The most twisted part? The timing. While cops were processing this grisly find in LA, David was on stage performing sold-out shows for his Withered World tour. On September 9th, the very day the body was discovered, he was set to rock the Fillmore in Minneapolis. At first, fans and media gave him love, saying he couldn't be tied to it since he was performing. But the whispers just keep growing louder. On top of everything, David's Tesla had been reported stolen just a week earlier. Word on the block was somebody jacked his whip and used it for grimy business.
No, listen, he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. He's not a suspect.
I think it's like almost obviously not him. But what's weird is that Crocs dropped him.
Yeah, why would they do that?
That's weird.
But even from the start, red flags were everywhere. That Tesla sat abandoned in the Hollywood Hills for 5 days before getting towed. Neighbors said the smell was nasty, but figured it was some dead animal. What really made folks suspicious was how fast big brands cut ties. Crocs and Hollister dropped him from campaigns the minute the story hit, like they knew something the public didn't. The victim's description painted a tragic picture. Female, about 5'1", wavy black hair, tube top, black leggings, a yellow chain bracelet, stud earring, and the detail that cracked it all open. A small tattoo on her right index finger. That ink became the key to the case. To see why this rocked so hard, you gotta know who David was before all this. Born in Queens, later moving to Houston, homeschooled after 7th grade, rooted deep in his Christian faith.
Homeschooling really takes a toll on a kid. Like
isolation.
Yeah, and there's outlets like I know I made a couple friends now that were homeschooled, but they had like these groups that they would go to like bi-weekly and just to socialize. I didn't have that. Like there was no like extracurricular activities I was involved in it was just me at home playing Fortnite, getting schoolwork done, learning how to code and build computers for 4 years.
He looked like the blueprint of the American dream, a kid who came from nothing and grinded his way up. But his come up was different. In 2021, he started by making Fortnite montages on YouTube, then flipped that hustle into a global music career. David's music grind started from a copyright headache. Back in November 2021, he was heated when strikes killed his gaming video revenue. He complained to his moms and she dropped game that flipped his whole path. With just an iPhone, Apple earbuds, and a free app called BandLab, he started cooking tracks in his sister's closet. Straight DIY hustle. He'd grab YouTube-type beats, record vocals on his phone mic, and that raw lo-fi vibe became his signature sound. Not by choice, just making the best of what he had.
You gotta download this app called BandLab. You can make your own vocal chains. That's what makes or breaks an artist on BandLab, is your vocal chain. Because what kind of made my sound popular was because it sounded good, like the quality.
Then came the breakthrough. On July 20th, 2022, he dropped Romantic Homicide, and it went crazy. The track peaked at number 3 on Hot Alternative Songs and number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100. All made the same DIY way in that closet. Fans swore the lyrics were pure soul, but looking back, they feel eerie now. The song had chilling lines like, "In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it." At the time, it was just art. Today, those words sound way too close to something darker. When David explained Romantic Homicide in interviews, he claimed it was about killing emotions in his head, not real violence. At the time, it fit, just a young artist processing heavy feelings. But after the Tesla case, that explanation hit way different. By then, David had leveled up from Fortnite gamer to multi-platinum star. racking up billions of streams. He was touring with big names, hitting festivals, and building a loyal fan base who swore he was speaking for their generation. His music about heartbreak, isolation, and searching for connection hit deep for kids shaped by the pandemic. Despite fame, he stayed low-key in Houston, still recording in that same bedroom closet, sticking close to his family, keeping faith strong, and joining weekly Bible studies. He painted himself as a grounded young king untouched by success.
Faith-based thinking and just being grounded on the rock of God is just like, it helps me in so many aspects of staying level-headed and staying on the ground and staying realistic and not getting too big of a head. And my family is very, very supportive, and they're my support system, and they guide me through this whole thing. We have family Bible study every Saturday.
But that wholesome image clashed hard with what was about to come out. As the investigation heated up, his team said he was cooperating with the feds while still pushing through with his tour. Their statements were careful, stressing innocence, but keeping things calm. Meanwhile, the Tesla itself became the star piece of evidence. It was a 2023 model with Texas plates registered under David's full government name, found dumped in the bird streets of Hollywood Hills, a flashy neighborhood where abandoned cars stick out fast. That choice of spot raised serious questions. Why leave a Tesla in one of LA's priciest, most visible areas? From jump, investigators had serious challenges. The body was so decomposed that even basic details like age, race, and cause of death were tough to pin down. Wrapped in plastic, it was clear someone tried to mask the smell and hide evidence, but failed.
You know, what was put in that bag, the body had been dismembered, and maybe they don't have enough at this point to positively say this was the cause of death.
And that her daughter had a tattoo with the letters "shh" on her right index finger.
The forensic timeline suggested the body had been in that Tesla for weeks, maybe months. That meant somebody was literally riding around with human remains before ditching the whip. The implications were wild. Still, detectives had some big advantages. Teslas are basically rolling computers, storing data on every move. Where it's been, when it was driven, even usage patterns. On top of that, the Bird Street's location was security central. Surveillance cams, Ring doorbells, and private systems in that pricey neighborhood could help nail down when the car was dumped and by who. Once the story hit, chaos exploded online. David's diehard fans rushed to defend him, pointing out he was on tour in front of thousands when the body was discovered. The timeline seemed to give him an alibi, but then whispers started creeping in from the streets. People asking the real uncomfortable question: if he wasn't involved, why was the body in his car at all? Why did major brands cut David off so fast? What did they know that the public didn't? And why was a decomposed body sitting in his personal Tesla no matter where he was when it was found? This case had all the makings of a street legend. A young star at his peak, a mysterious death, and a web of secrets waiting to explode. 8 days after the grisly discovery, things took an even darker turn. On September 17, 2025, the LA County Medical Examiner confirmed the body was Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 15-year-old reported missing from Lake Elsinore back on April 5, 2024. That ID hit like a freight train. This wasn't some random missing person. This was a teenage girl gone over a year, now found in the car of one of music's hottest rising names. The most disturbing detail? The tattoo that cracked the case. Celeste had a tiny red "shh" tattoo on her right index finger. Investigators quickly matched it to David's identical black "shh" tattoo, first spotted on him in September 2024, months after Celeste vanished.
We had actually spoken to Celeste's mother last week. And at that point, the police had said that the tattoo was there, but the mom told us more information, which the police had not released, which was that the tattoo was in red ink.
That eerie connection was impossible to ignore. TMZ ran with the story, and things spiraled further when Celeste's own mother revealed that before disappearing, her daughter had mentioned having a boyfriend named David. That bombshell tied his name to the case in a way no one could brush off. The connection wasn't just loose talk anymore. There was a direct link between David and the victim. Celeste Rivas had been only 15 when she vanished. Some unverified posts even suggested she was younger at the time. She lived in Lake Elsinore, Riverside County, about 70 miles from LA, a working-class city far from the Hollywood shine David was stepping into. Her birthday was September 7th, a date that would later take on chilling meaning. Celeste was described as 5'1", wavy black hair, from a Hispanic family, living the life of a regular teen before everything flipped. As investigators dug deeper, disturbing receipts started surfacing. Photos popped up online showing David and Celeste together, even FaceTiming with friends. One image allegedly caught them at 3:51 a.m., raising serious questions about the nature of their relationship. The alleged timeline made things even more troubling. Online chatters suggested their connection may have started between 2020 and 2022, when Celeste was still very young, while David, born March 28, 2005, was around 17 to 19 and just grinding to build his career. When those details hit the public, the story turned from shocking to downright disturbing.
It appears she may have been killed on her birthday. She may have been killed on September 7th. The body was actually located in the impound in the back of the Tesla on September 9th.
Screenshots of alleged chats started surfacing online, supposedly showing David messaging Celeste on Discord when she was just 13. If authentic, they'd be direct evidence of an inappropriate connection. These convos were dated 2022, the same year David's romantic homicide was blowing up. But the darkest part came from Celeste's final months. Friends shared messages from April 29th, 2024, weeks after she was reported missing, proving she was still alive and reaching out. The text painted her as a young girl on the run, hiding from her parents, tied up in a relationship her friends were clearly worried about. In one exchange, Celeste admitted she was scared, saying he came back crying and warning her friends, "Do not text me." The context suggested she was hiding with someone and afraid of being found. When her friends asked if she was still talking to David or planning to go back, her chilling reply was, "I'm safe." "No, I'm not." The conversations exposed disturbing truths. First, her friends knew she was in danger connected to someone named David. Second, she was hiding and using burner accounts to stay in touch. Third, her chats hinted at intimate activities, details no young girl should have been wrapped up in. One particularly troubling exchange showed Celeste discussing personal physical experiences with her friends, implying she had been involved with David while still underage. If true, that would put him, at 19 or 20, in clear violation of California's statutory laws. These final messages showed a teen caught in fear, secrecy, and a relationship that seemed far more dangerous than anyone realized at the time. The final messages suggested Celeste was trying to pull away from David, but she was scared. Her friends kept checking in, urging her to stay safe and begging her not to delete her Instagram so they could keep contact. What came through loud and clear was a terrified girl, trapped in a situation she couldn't escape. These revelations crushed the early theory that David's Tesla had just been jacked. Now there was clear evidence he knew Celeste had been involved with her and that she was alive and hiding for weeks after being reported missing. Then came whispers of hush money. Instagram posts claimed David had been paying people to stay quiet about his relationship with a minor. One post even alleged a friend had seen proof he owed money in Lake Elsinore for being with a minor. The claim suggested folks in his circle knew, but stayed silent after being paid off. This painted a dark picture of a cover-up, with cash used to bury secrets. But the most twisted detail came when investigators connected timelines between Celeste's disappearance and David's music. Her birthday was September 7th, the exact date David dropped Romantic Homicide in 2022, with its haunting lyrics about killing someone in his mind. Even worse, investigators believe the Tesla was abandoned on September 7th, 2025, exactly 3 years after the song's release, and on what would have been Celeste's 16th birthday. That chilling overlap turned the case into something far darker than anyone first imagined. The timing was too symbolic to ignore. But the music links didn't stop there. Alleged messages from Celeste's brother claimed David had even written an unreleased track titled Celeste, with lyrics about the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. The brother also said he'd found private communications between the two, love notes and photos, proof the family suspected something was deeply wrong but felt powerless to act. He claimed he tried taking it to police, but nothing moved, possibly because of David's celebrity status. As public attention exploded, more receipts surfaced. Reports placed David near Celeste's Lake Elsinore home before her disappearance. People in his own circle allegedly knew about the relationship, but chose silence. That's when the age gap became the central focus. David, at 20, was a star with wealth and influence, while Celeste, only 15, came from a working-class family with no protection or power. The imbalance was undeniable. Even without murder charges, legal experts warned the fallout could be massive. Evidence of an inappropriate relationship alone could bring serious counts: statutory rape, child endangerment, even federal time if he transported her across state lines. The revelation of Celeste's identity and her undeniable connection to David marked the moment this case shifted from rumor and speculation to a full-blown scandal that could end his career in freedom. What first looked like a stolen car mix-up had turned into a full-blown homicide case, with a victim and a suspect tied together in disturbing ways. LAPD officially classified Celeste's death as a homicide, though the exact cause was hard to pin down because of the advanced state of decomposition. Reports revealed the body had been dismembered, not just murder, but an intentional attempt to hide the crime. That gruesome detail left no doubt. This was calculated. The challenge now was proving who did it and how. As more pieces surfaced, a tragic picture formed. A young girl, groomed and isolated by an older man with fame and resources, cut off from her family, living in hiding, and ending up dead. Even the matching tattoos, once seen as love, now looked like marks of control. The case against David had shifted completely. It wasn't about a jacked Tesla anymore. It was about a 20-year-old star allegedly tied to an underage girl, sharing identical tattoos, with her remains discovered in his own car. Fans in the industry were forced to face the unthinkable. Their rising idol might be hiding something sinister. This story is only getting darker, and you don't want to miss what's next. Make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. And I'll see you on the next one.